Okay, so today we're taking the engine out of this 2008 Chevy Suburban. It's 5.3 liter. So we gotta take the rad off, or we are going to take the rad off, take the motor, take all the wiring off, motor mounts, take the transfer case off and the drive shaft, and then pull it with the engine and transmission. And now we got the hood off and taking this plastic off, and we're taking the headlights off, front bumper, the grill, all this. Gotta take one fender off in order to take this off, the radiator. And then once that's off, then we're gonna take all the wiring off on the engine and then start taking the engine out. Got the front bumper off, headlights, and the air box, the batteries off. We're gonna take that fender off, and then take this off here. Got coolant in there, put a bucket under there, and it's got the bolts here, a couple bolts along here, and a bolt right there. And then I think two in the door and one, oh this is a different one, but one down here somewhere. And that fender comes off, and then we're gonna take the rad out yet. It got the coolant line off in the bottom. The rad just draining the coolant. We're all worked as it was planned. Everything went into the bucket, nothing beside. Anyways, got the fender off also. So this gives us way more advantage on this side of the engine. So we got the everything, spark plugs and everything to remove it on this side is harder to remove it on this side than on that side. So it's a good thing we took this fender off. And then we got a couple more bolts for this thing. We got two in the bottom. Right there's one, and then right there's the other one. And we got a couple bolts here, a couple wires, transmission cooler lines, and then the power steering. And then, yeah, it shouldn't be much more. It should come off. Lines off, and AC. Got the power steering cooler off. Headlight wires. So we moved it over a bit. We still got a little bit of wires here. The airbags, I believe. And then, yeah, then it should be ready to pop out. Sir. Rad out. Got all the lines off and wires. Now we're gonna take the intake off. Got to get the injectors, fuel injectors off, and then we just got that done. There's a couple wires. This fuel injector's got 8 wires. Got their wires right back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 4 on the other side. And then for these injector plugs, so you just grab I got a flat screwdriver and just pop that up, and then that gray little clip right there, just push that in and it pops out just like this one. You can do it with your fingernail if you want to break it, but yeah, they pop out. And then you got, and for this fuel rail, you got one bolt there in the back, as you can see. You got one right over there, and then one right in the back. And then for the fuel line, I just grabbed me one of these. It's an oil cooler line, but they probably have a special one for the fuel. So you just grab it, poke it in, pull out. Simple as that. So this is that out, and then you just pull it up. Got the injectors popped out. I just gotta do this side, see if it'll work. Yeah, so you just kind of pop them out. There, it's off, and then so now you just take the fuel line. Got all the wires off. Got that wiring harness a bit loose, so you just pop it over. It's coming out just like that, and there we go. We got the fuel line or fuel rail and injectors out. There. Got that. Now you're just gonna take the intake off. It's got plenty of bolts. All these, 2 there, 1 in the back, same as that, 2 in the back, 1 in the middle, and then 2 in the front here. So we got all the bolts out. It's either you can either use a 5/16 or an 8 mil for all these, and same as the injector bolts. So either 5/16 or 8 mil. So now I just gotta get this wire off. Got that off the intake. Still have it here, you guys, but got 1 hose in the back that needs to come off, and then yeah, that's so as far as I want to go with the intake, or that's all off. So now we just got 2 plugs in the back, and then the oil pressure sensor right there. We got the starter. We got 3 plugs there on the side of the engine, and then we got the headers to take off, or the exhaust manifolds, and then we got a couple plugs down there yet, I believe. So yeah, those are 13 mils for the exhaust, and my battery's dead on the light. And then got 2 bolts in the back, but these 2 were actually snapped off, so it makes it easier for me for now. So you got that one and that one. I got them all loose. Luckily, haven't snapped one. Now we just got to do the other side real quick. My 13 and impact and extension. Now this that one came out perfectly. I loosened them up with a ratchet first so they wouldn't snap on me. Hopefully they haven't. Got that one loose as well. Coming off. I'll just do this one first. There you go. Got that off. And now let's just pop it away. Oh, I gotta take all these, unclip all the spark plug wires in order to move the exhaust manifold. Drop it, and then you got this dipstick in the way as well. That one you just pop out. I think it has a you just pull out the engine. Let's see if it'll work. Oh, you gotta play with it a bit, but yeah, then we got the manifolds off. Then we need the motor mounts. And then this power steering line right here needs to come off. Wires, as you can see, 2 are going that way. There's a couple, all these here. They're going that way to the starter, so you gotta get that off, and then everything should be off. So we got the starter off. You gotta do it from the bottom. It's 2 13s mils. And then you got the engine mount on the passenger side, has 3 bolts there. And this one was leaking oil like crazy, this engine, so it was covered in oil. So we keeping these bolts for the other project. So we got for the cherry picker, we got this thing. So we put 1 bolt, unscrewed it, put this thing on there, and then the other one's way in the back. And then right there by the oil pressure sensor. And now we're just gonna hook it up, and we can crank it whichever way we want it. So I got 2 wires there. That one's right behind the starter. And there's this, I'm thinking it's a knock sensor. By the looks of it, it looks like it. So I just took that one off because I couldn't unplug it, and I didn't want to rip it. So got those, go pull them through. That these are not wires that we need, so that's that. So that's it. And then he's got a couple grounds there, I think, and then some smaller. The block heater is there, and a couple other wires, I believe, and then that should be it. And then hopefully we can pull it out a little ways and do all the ones that are on the transmission. We got most of these plugs off, or he's got them off, and yeah, that's basically it to it. You got this plug here for the transmission, and I think every transfer case has like 3 on these trucks anyways, or engines anyways, so they usually have 3 or so on the transfer case, and you got the breather hose and all the small shit, but once you got it off, it don't matter. You can see it all. But yeah, that's how this one goes. Got the engine all out, disconnected the transmission, and now we're just kind of fitting it into this little car here. This is where we want to put it in. So if you guys want more videos of that, let me know. Post more of those.